Welcome back to Congress Unpacked, where Congress speaks and I break it down. Today, things got heated in the Senate Appropriations hearing. Senator John Kennedy came out swinging at Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra over one of the most explosive issues in politics: abortion. Right out of the gate, Kennedy asked Becerra the big question. Does he support abortion up to the very moment of birth, even if both mother and baby are healthy? Kennedy didn't just ask once. He hammered it home, painting the picture of a fully developed baby just days before delivery. Becerra, though, stood his ground. He said nobody supports that kind of extremism and kept going back to one thing: Roe v. Wade. But Kennedy wasn't buying it. He reminded Becerra that Roe has been overturned. So, what's the stance now? Should the federal government or the states set the rules for late-term abortion? Kennedy demanded a straight answer, but Becerra kept his cards close, sticking to the framework of Roe.
Terry, if the mother is healthy and the baby is healthy, do you really support abortion of the baby up to the moment of birth?
Senator, let me make sure, to the moment of birth, you're saying after gestation, the 40 weeks?
You know what I'm saying, Mr. Secretary.
Well,
let's suppose it's the day before the due date, and the baby is fully formed, and the baby's healthy, and the mother is healthy. Do you support aborting the right to abort the baby then?
I've heard no one say that. I think everyone has said, those who support reproductive rights have said,
you
support
said
Roe versus Wade.
You said it in 2020 in a press release. This is what you said. You said, quote, "No government, state or federal, has the right to make decisions for a woman about her body or her health care," end quote. Your words, not mine.
Good words.
So let me ask you again. Up to the moment of birth, if the mother's healthy and the baby's healthy, do you believe that there should be the right to abort that baby up to the moment of birth?
Again, I'll give you the answer. I have always supported Roe v. Wade, which does not do what you've just said. And I know of no one who is proposing or advocating what you've just announced. And I would hope that what you would recognize is that that should not stop a woman from having the right to decide for herself, with the consultation of her physician, what she should do.
Would you support making it illegal to abort a baby if the mother's healthy and the baby is healthy on the day before that baby is scheduled to be born?
I certainly would support the reestablishment of Roe versus Wade.
Okay. So you think that there are restrictions that the state, federal or state, as the case may be, can place on abortion?
Senator, if you talk to any woman, she'll tell you that she uses common sense in making her decisions.
Do you think that the state or the federal government in the third trimester of a pregnancy has the right to impose limitations, moral and legal right to impose limitations on an abortion? I think that's a yes or no.
I would certainly say that Roe v. Wade answered those questions. We defend and support Roe versus Wade.
Roe v. Wade has been overturned. I want your answer. Do you support restrictions by the federal or the state government on the right to an abortion in the third trimester?
And my answer is clear, that if we establish Roe versus Wade, we get back to a system that gives women protection.
Do you support restrictions to the right to an abortion in the third trimester? Why are you dodging the question?
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm telling you where I am. I am.
Now, tell me, do you support restrictions in the third trimester?
I have
if
personally.
The mother's healthy and the baby's healthy.
Yeah, and Senator, let me try to make sure I answer this. Personally, as you mentioned, I've been quoted on a number of occasions before I became secretary. I support a woman's right to make a decision about her body.
But do you support restrictions in the third trimester? I just asked, why are you embarrassed to answer?
Because I believe in Roe versus Wade, and I think everyone recognizes that
Roe v.
law.
Wade?
I do.
Roe v. Wade allowed for restrictions in the third trimester.
Then you have your answer.
Do you support restrictions in the third trimester?
If Roe versus Wade is as you described it.
Why are you scared to answer the question?
I'm not afraid to answer. I'm
asking the question. Are you worried you're going to get in trouble with people, with your colleagues
No,
who
not
support
at all.
abortion up to the moment of birth?
Not at all.
Then why won't you answer the question?
Because, Senator, I think I've given you the answer that makes the most sense. Roe versus Wade worked for some 50
Do you
years.
support restrictions in the third trimester on the right to abortion? It's real simple. You're the secretary of a department of the United States of America.
Yeah.
Do you support them or do you oppose them?
My answer is pretty simple. We will
It wasn't
defend
simple.
Roe versus
You don't want to
Wade.
answer it, do you?
I've answered
You
the
know
question.
why you don't want to answer? Because you and your colleagues believe that a child has no rights, even a fully developed child. You know that?
You can say that.
And I know
I know
that.
where I am. I will continue
Okay,
to
let me
defend a
ask you
woman's
for a
right.
final time. I think this is number 5.
It's not gonna make any difference, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, if you want to choose to not answer it, that's up to you.
I'm not denying anything. Senator.
Let me phrase it another way. What restrictions do you support in the third trimester to the right to an abortion? Tell me what restrictions.
If you read the Roe versus Wade decision, it'll answer your question.
Why don't you just answer it for me?
I did. Roe versus Wade
What
established the
restrictions
protection.
do you support on the right to an abortion in the third trimester? You
Roe versus
personally.
Wade. Roe versus Wade.
Okay. Roe versus Wade doesn't say what restrictions. Roe versus Wade just says the state and the federal government have the right to impose restrictions. I'm asking you, what restrictions you support?
The frustration in the room was real. Kennedy pressed even harder. What about abortion for reasons like gender preference days before birth? Becerra called that scenario unrealistic, but he still wouldn't say no. So Kennedy fired back. If nobody supports it, why not just say so?
For example, if the mother and the baby are healthy, and we're a week before birth, and the parents change their mind and say, we don't want a boy, we want a girl, abort the baby who happens to be a girl, would you support that right?
I know no one who would go as far as what you're indicating.
Well, then wouldn't you say you would oppose it?
Because I'm telling you where I stand.
No,
and I
you're
have
not.
been very
You're
clear on
dodging
that for a
and
long
lobbing
time.
and weaving and flip-flopping
No.
like a
Let me stand as
bang
still as
catfish.
you'd like. Senator, I won't move, and
Let me
I'll just
ask
move
you
my
again.
lips.
If a week before birth, baby healthy, mother healthy, would you support the right to an abortion because the parents dislike the gender of the baby? Yes or no?
Yeah, as I said, a woman should have the right
But you
to make the
haven't said,
decisions
Mr.
about her body.
Secretary, you won't answer my question. Would you support that?
As I said, I'm going to do everything I can to support a woman's right to make the
Would you
decisions about
support
her
what I
body.
just described?
If you want this kind of unfiltered coverage, the questions nobody else asks, hit that subscribe button right now. Things only escalated from there. Kennedy accused Becerra of dodging, saying it looked like the administration was afraid to be honest about its real position. Becerra insisted he'd been clear, but Kennedy wasn't convinced. He argued that refusing to answer only made things look more extreme. And just as it looked like things might cool down, the chairman announced a second round of questioning. Kennedy wasn't finished, and neither was this debate.
You're not going to answer me, are you? I don't understand why you're scared to answer me.
I'm not afraid to answer your question. I've answered it over and
You're
over.
scared
Thank you,
to
Senator
death to
Kennedy.
answer me. I just find that appalling. You're the secretary of the department.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
Can we have a second round, Madam Chair?
I am just going to start a second round right now.
I need some answers now. If I just had answers.
You just hang in here. We're going to start a second round of questioning. We will certainly accommodate any senators who have not yet had their first round who appear. As we know, we have several competing subcommittee hearings at this juncture.
This exchange showed just how divided America is on abortion, especially in the late stages. Kennedy's questions revealed fears about policy going too far. Becerra's answers showed a commitment to Roe's legacy, even now. This is Congress Unpacked, where Congress speaks and we break it down. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like to help us reach more viewers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.